So Ken, my next question is, has there been an energy practitioner or like a spiritual person that really impressed you? Is there anyone in particular that you recommend, like, hey, check this guy's teachings out or whatever? Excuse me. Or do you believe that you have to go within? What is your take on that?
No, I really don't have anyone to recommend. And, I don't even want to really recommend myself because that would be like, so I'm the only guy I'm recommending. Most of my information came from within myself. So I
Hmm.
had this activation. I had this 4 hour like
Hmm.
dream, astral, whatever you want to call it, where I was trained in all of these abilities that I
Hmm.
teach,
Hmm.
basically. And then when I came back to my body on the dune of Lake Michigan, like I was on it and I was like on this path. So
Right, right. So sorry to cut you
like
off.
as far as like teachers out there right now that are
Mhm.
interested in like what I do and what I teach, there's not a lot of us out there that are actually like teaching um a well balanced platform as far as like energy connection. You know what I mean? There's the meditation teachers, there's teachers that are teaching like life coaching stuff, but
Right,
as far as like teachers out there, there's not too many. I mean, if you want to
right,
follow somebody, you could follow me, and I really don't know who else to recommend. I mean, there's some other teachers out there, but I wouldn't recommend them.
right,
I
right,
I just there's not a lot of us out there that are
right,
doing it. So
right.
as far as
But you are establishing a new energy school currently, right? I mean,
no, there's not an energy school I would recommend. If anything, I would recommend.
no, 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 no. You are
would be
starting an energy school.
so I
I
have a
thought you said
friend. So
in
I have a
July, right?
what's that?
Wait, aren't you starting an energy school in July? Isn't that what you told me last time?
Yeah, so I'm like releasing my curriculum. So I have courses that I've been basically recording, and I'm going to be releasing those in July. So people will have like basically a curriculum to go through
Right,
uh, to develop these abilities.
right.
As far as I want to start an energy school, yes, I've been wanting to start an energy school, a physical location on Lake Michigan, ever since I've come online in 2014. So
Right.
that's going to happen in the future, but I'm going to need, a private financier that's going to bring through some cash. Someone's going to come on board
Mm.
with the currency to actually physically produce this school. Um, as far as people out there, there's really not anyone out there that's like teaching this stuff. I have my friend from Detroit. His name is James Bomar. He goes as Sevan Bomar.
Oh,
He
that's your friend. That black guy. That he's your friend.
Yeah, so I've known
Oh
I've known
wow, I
him
didn't know
I've
that.
known him
Wow.
for about I've known him for about 10 years. So
Oh wow, I didn't know
I
that.
am part of secretenergy.com. I'm a spirit tech specialist over there. Though James or Seven, I always call him James. Seven has like he has the largest occult and metaphysic like database in the interweb. Like,
Oh really? I'll have to check him more out.
dude, the information they have over at Secret Energy is profound. He has put
Okay,
together, I
okay.
mean, and
That's good to know.
he's been in it for 10 years. Like when I first woke up and I like was like online looking at people, James was one of the first people that I talked to, and he had just moved to Costa Rica. He had lived in Detroit, and me and him had chatted. He had this it was called The Resistance, was his one of his original things online. And you can still go on like and find The Resistance and all these old podcasts. And this cat, he is one of the most well versed as far as individuals when it comes to occult knowledge, and just he's got some shit going on. So if you're looking to like dive deep and research like religion and like what's actually happening, and you're like the old shit and like old programs, like he's where you go and you like dive deep and like get into that research because he has it all there. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right,
you can really kind of dissect what he has going on. So
right, right.
that's probably the only teacher that I recommend as
Okay.
far as it's that cat. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
that guy, he has he's always been very balanced. He's much like me. We're very much of the same kind of thing. We're very much balanced, and we're in this thing. We're gaining knowledge, and he
Mm-hmm.
has really put some amazing information together, and it's all free. And you can go on there and just search around. And he does have he does have courses. He does have all that. He has a whole thing called the Interversity, and you can go in there and like dissect, and they really take you on this journey. And I do recommend people checking that out. I mean, I don't really promote a lot of people's stuff, especially publicly, but I would definitely give Sevan props and
Cool. Awesome. Okay.
promote his school. Like, and so anyone on the line that wants to check out some really good information that I have definitely went through most all of it. So, and there's some good info in there that can help
Cool.
kind of activate your consciousness and get you to start to remember who you are.
Cool. Okay. Okay. So can what about in terms of like aerokinesis or telekinesis, like energy skills? Like, was anyone besides you that made you go, "Whoa, this guy's got something. He's something." Like, has there anyone that really truly impressed you?
As far as people that I've seen,
Yeah, whether it's online or physical, it doesn't really matter. Like,
no,
it
I
doesn't
don't.
have to be energy. Maybe like it can be any kind of spiritual.
No, I don't really look. I don't really look online too much. That's the thing. I don't.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't really
okay.
look at any other people. So I don't. No one's really impressed me. I mean, I would be impressed if you came in person and did something. Um, the only time I was really impressed with energy is that I had built a storm um, with a guy named Kyle way back in
Oh,
the
okay.
day,
Yeah, yeah.
and Kyle had showed me a technique on how to fold energy. And we had cracked this storm, and it was about 100, maybe 120-mile-an-hour winds. And he had taught me how to plug in to the grid, where you can plug your body into the grid to where the wind won't blow you over. And he showed me
Mm,
how to fold energy, and
wow,
that was the
fascinating.
most impressive thing I had ever seen to
Wow.
date.
I'm not going to say his full name, but he's the other guy that I have an idea who he is. He's the other guy that you were working with in the other energy school, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
Kyle,
yeah. I know of the guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So he was kind of the cat that I connected really good with him, and we were real close friends, and he came up and stayed at my house and trained on Lake Michigan with me, and um, he had taught me he's taught me all the things I know about lucid dreaming. He
Oh
was a
wow. Actually,
he
no,
was our
that's so ironic.
he
You
was our
see,
lucid dream
so
he is our
ironic.
lucid dreaming
I was
teacher.
actually looking on the forum, the energy school that I was a part of. I was looking on the forum, his exact posts, like so yeah, on lucid dreaming. So yeah, that's really ironic. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was the man. I mean, he taught me stuff that I mean, like real legit stuff that's, I mean, has helped me profoundly as far as like creating realities in astral space and lucid dreaming, and cracked me
Wow.
wide open. It's why I like suppress my dreams today. because he taught me some shit that you don't want to go down that rabbit hole, and I actually suppress my dreams today because how good he taught me. And I don't teach people what I was taught, because you don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Just out of curiosity, like, so within that realm, like, you can actually do some really incredible stuff. Like, can you? This was my original question from earlier that you didn't really get the answer because I was asking so many different things at once. like, can you actually bring back some knowledge, wisdom, or maybe even perhaps abilities that you trained there? Because I heard those stories. Well, I heard a story of someone healing themselves in the astral realms and being able to bring back. My friend Gemma said that in the astral realm she actually burned her throat and stuff like that. So what would your answer be to that?
Okay, yeah. So this is the real deal on the dreamscape. So in the dream world, you can train for everything you can train now. You can heal yourself. You can train. You can create new abilities. You can see the future. You can tap in so deep to where you dream every day the night before. So when you dream tonight, you would dream tomorrow, and then when you woke up full lucid in the morning, you would remember the entire day that you lived through the next day. And that's how people begin to like really hone in and create your reality, is because you already know what's going to happen, and you can really connect. Like, you can start to really bend the reality, and it can all be done in the dream. You have to remember that this whole life is coming from the dream. It's coming from the
Wow.
dream. We're
Wow.
in a dream within a dream. We're in a
Right.
dream within a dream. And when you
Right.
go to bed at night, you're in the real dream projecting into this dream. Like,
Mhm.
it's messed up, man. It's like, believe me, it's the whole reason why I smoke pot, is so I can suppress my
Right,
dream.
right. Because smoking weed actually allows you to not lucid dream. So yeah.
Right. Smoking weed is going to take your vibration down. It can't, it cuts off, so you can't
Mhm.
like really tap into the dream. Like, if you've never smoked weed before, you can have like a spiritual experience. Like, if you smoke weed and like try to meditate, you'll have like good astral
Mhm.
experience. You
Mhm.
might have like an aha. I've used it with students. I've used it with people. I've used mushrooms with students. Like, these are called like triggers, right? You can use them in small doses for triggers, but
Mhm.
like for an energy practitioner or a master, like, you're going to use these things to like cut you off, to slow you down, to suppress, to like
Mhm.
keep it at a bay. Because I got to a point where I had accessed too much information, and I was dreaming every day. Like, I knew exactly what was going to happen every single day, and you don't really understand what's that like until you do it. Until you,
Um,
the
right.
mundane thing to realize you know what's going to happen every single day. No one wants to know what's going to happen every single day. You don't want to know that. You don't. I mean, people say, "Oh no, I do. I want to know the future. I want to know what's gonna." No, you don't want to know what's going to happen every day. You don't. You
Mhm.
don't. It
Wow.
takes the fun out of life. It takes the fun out of riding the synchronicities, to following the trails, to listening to the nature, to being all connected. And you can do that every day without having to have a whole like total like, precognition of what's going to happen the next day. Like, Tommy's going to drop the hammer at the shop. You're working as an auto guy, and you're wrenching on the truck, and then you're like, oh, Tommy comes around the corner, and you're telling Chad, you're like, hey, Chad, Tommy's going to come around the corner. He's going to drop the hammer. And he's like, oh, fuck you, man. And then Tommy comes around the corner, and he drops the hammer. And then Chad's like, oh, dude, you're crazy. And he's like, oh, I dreamed it last night, right? You don't want to do that
Wow.
every day. You don't
Wow.
want to do that.
Really powerful stuff. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me